Australia is known for its cute kangaroos and cuddly koalas. It's the last place you'd expect to find one of these. This land of marsupials and gum trees isn't supposed to have any carnivorous big cats. But don't tell that to these people.
And he was walking across this paddock and I saw him for at least 8 minutes.
But it sounded like a woman being murdered. A blood-curdling scream.
I would say they would be either cougars or some sort of panther.
I wouldn't go out in the bush without a gun because it's too dangerous.
From the densely populated south to the remote northwest, mysterious big cats have been seen by many.
The cats I've seen here are definitely pumas.
Arthur Scott Norman is a former African game warden now living in eastern Australia. He knows his big cats.
Something's been through here this morning, but what it is, I don't know.
Arthur says he's seen pumas casually slinking along his fence line.
That is a big cat print.
Pat West lives less than 20 kilometers from Arthur. She had a pet dog taken by a big cat.
He was just actually a bloody heap. He was just torn to pieces.
Pat West runs a refuge for abandoned dogs. Ben was her favorite, a whippet, just like this one. He'd only been out for about 15 minutes, but when Pat went to call him in, he was nowhere to be found.
Ben! Ben!
She searched all over for Ben, but unbeknown to Pat, the big cat had grabbed him. Eventually, she found him at her own front door. He had escaped the big cat, but had paid dearly.
He was just lying in a pool of blood. I put my torch down and he was just soaked in blood.
All Pat could do was comfort him and call the vet.
The right side of its throat had been badly ripped.
Dr. Andrew Keefe is now president of the Australian Veterinary Surgeons Board.
We had 2 puncture marks on this side of the vertebrae, and that the teeth went around to where the trachea was. So the bite was in this direction here from there, and it just took out that material. So it had to open its mouth a significant level.
So what sort of animal could do this? The next night, Aboriginal trackers and Agricultural Protection Board officers mounted a hunt.
But they had the searchlights going here, the 2 searchlights, all night that night.
But nothing was caught, even though tracks were found. One hunter said he spotted a mother and 2 cubs, but they disappeared like phantoms into the bush without trace. Another victim of the mysterious big cat was a baby camel. Camel breeder Chris O'Hora believes that the big cat in question watched the calf being born, then moved in to attack. This is what it left behind.
And it definitely appears to be a panther-type cat cougar of that size. The long tail and body shape definitely indicate to me on sightings that we've seen this black slinky creature going up and down the property.
Chris and his family want the culprit dead or alive and are setting traps to catch the mysterious predator.
Stop there.
Oh, no, down now. Down. This'll do. Down here. Kirsty, grab the bait, will you?
Others are taking more drastic action. While Chris O'Hora does what he can, about 400 kilometers south, mysterious big cats have been killing stock for years. People aren't setting traps for them down here. They're out in the bush, hunting them with guns. Peter Nicolau has been a farmer all his life. He's seen numerous big cats prowling the district. Out one night hunting, he came across a mysterious pair of eyes in the dark.
Open the gate, John.
Gosh, what's that?
So I've never seen anything like that before. And we had a close look, and these eyes would have been light gold coloured, pretty far apart, bigger than 50-cent pieces. It was sitting down on the ground with its tail wrapped around the front. Its front legs were, well, that thick.
It was a similar story for his neighbour, Brian Lumley.
I was sitting here about this hour at night and looking across the paddock over here, waiting for the roos to come out, and I suddenly got this horrible feeling something was watching me. So I turned around like this and I looked up here, and there's this huge black cat looking down at me. He's got beautiful big yellow eyes and he's looking down at me.
Despite all these sightings and many more, the government refuses to acknowledge the existence of anything unusual. CALM is the Australian government's Department for Conservation and Land Management.
The official position on the big cats is that there is no evidence that they exist in Western Australia.
But having said that, Rob Hagan is one conservation ranger who has seen one of these big cats with his own eyes.
I've actually seen a large animal that I'm unable to explain. I thought it was a cat which was probably 3/4 of a metre high at the shoulder and probably 1.5 to 2 metres long, body and tail.
A conundrum. He's seen it, but must stick with the official line.
I think there's definitely a cover-up.
I believe there's a cover-up.
There is no hard evidence that that animal exists. There has never been a carcass found. There has never been decent photographic evidence or any irrefutable evidence of what the animals are.
Yet the sightings continue.
We'd never seen anything like that animal before.
Former track and field star Shirley Delahunty was an Olympic gold medalist. She's also a nuclear physicist and has seen a big cat too.
It was dark. I presume it was black, but it was dark. It was early morning, but the sun was still up. And it was lean, a bit like a cougar or like a black leopard or something like that. It just had a different movement to anything I'd ever seen before.
Despite official denials, another government conservation ranger, David Farquhar, says he once saw a cougar-type creature in the forest where he was working.
At first glance, I knew it wasn't a dog. It wasn't a fox, and to me, in my mind to this day, I would say that it was a large cat. The way it moved, the shape, the colour, the height.
He followed it through the bush for a while.
To my mind, to this day, I would certainly believe that it was a large cat.
There is no hard evidence that that animal exists.
Yeah, I guess that's the stand they have to take, but you know, there's plenty of sightings through people from CALM as well as farmers and other people of the public.
So where did these big cats that officially don't exist come from? Brian Lumley says the cats were mascots on board U.S. warships visiting Australia during World War II. Prior to the Battle of the Coral Sea, the U.S. Navy ordered the cats to be disposed of.
I originally come off an American battleship down near Denmark in Western Australia. My father seen them on board the boat during the Second World War.
It's believed another group of big cats may have escaped from a traveling circus after a traffic accident 20 years later.
I think there's definitely a cover-up.
I believe there's a cover-up.
With so many sightings over such a wide area, even in Western Australia, some say it's only a matter of time before the big cats attack humans and not animals in their quest to survive.